me being Buddy Martin. Glad to be with you on a very busy Meldon Law Monday. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff in the ATL, especially Atlanta. I'm just watching. I don't usually watch these things, but I'm watching the home run derby tonight. I think Shaney is too. And or the Tampa Bay Rays decide for the lead up there. One of my favorite players. We'll talk about that. Lots of things in Atlanta, as I said. SEC Media Days. Tomorrow, Texas gets the day. They'll have Arch Manning up there, and we'll have our guy live from Atlanta. Rob Browne will join us a little bit later on, along with Kevin Brockway and Franz Beard. So stay tuned right here. A lot coming your way. Tell your friends and neighbors. Well, tell them whatever you want to, but the fact is that we are on the air, and we're glad to be here tonight.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening and welcome to the Buddy Martin Show. In Atlanta as we speak, Junior Caminero of the Rays, one of my favorite players, is tied for the lead in the home run derby. I don't usually watch this stuff. I couldn't tell you who half the players were, but I believe 5 have gone through now, and they'll take the top 4. So we'll keep you up to date with that. It was SEC Media Days kickoff today. Some news out of there a little bit about the speculation of a famous coach coming back, talking about whether they'll go 12 or 15 games or 16 games in the playoff. Rob Browne was there. He'll be joining us a little bit later on and tell us about what he saw and heard. Tomorrow's a big day because it's Manning Day. It means that Texas Longhorns will be there and the world's greatest quarterback, according to what you believe, and he might be, will be joining us, Arch Manning, on TV. Also tonight, if you're there, if you care about this stuff, I guess Beyonce's got a concert tonight. And what a traffic jam they must have down there. Big night in Atlanta. I don't know. Maybe that's where Shane is. Do you have any tickets to Beyonce, Shane?
No, I do not.
You do not, oh? Well, all your pull, I thought you might.
No.
How you doing, Shaner?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, doing all right. I hope you had a peaceful weekend. And I know you said you just turned on the home run derby. I'm not a big fan of this kind of stuff normally, but I did give it a peek tonight. You watching it at all?
I saw like maybe 3 pitches. I just turned the TV on 5 minutes ago, and there's nothing on TV right now. I'm just flipping through, and I saw it. I have no interest in it, though, quite honestly.
Yeah, I don't either usually, but I happened to flip it on tonight because Caminero, and you know I'm a long-suffering Rays fan. They're on a terrible slide lately, but there was some wagering going on in selection, and one of the women picked Caminero, and they talked her out of it. No, he's not going to do it. He ain't got the swing speed. And, you know, Shane, all those metrics, they get me confused. I don't know how hard was ball, how far, the trajectory. I can't keep up with it. But anyway, the fact is Caminero had 21 homers, and now they're going to the 6th person in the round, and they take the top 4 and go to the side. I'm not even sure of the rules. But anyway, Caminero's in it. So today in Atlanta, interesting dialogue. I know that it was a big day for LSU, and I know that the coach and quarterback were there. They had some things to say, and naturally, also I was impressed with Clark Lee. I don't know. I mean, I know that you aren't supposed to be, but I'd forgotten, Shane. Remember they beat Alabama last year, Vanderbilt?
Mm-hmm.
I'd forgotten
Yeah,
it. Yeah. So it was interesting to kind of get a refresher course there. Lane Kiffin uh, said, dropped a comment. They said that it's obvious schools are not playing under the system of the new revenue sharing cap. He wouldn't give names. He says, I'm not calling anyone out, but I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that, he said. He says, whether it's a working system, a lot of conversation about whether to go to 16. Interesting stat today, Shane. I heard Sankey, he gives a ton of these things in his speech. He said that of all the games played in college football last year, if you took a percentage of who watched it on TV, what percentage would that have been the SEC and the Big Ten? What would you guess?
You're talking about if you added up the SEC and the Big Ten viewing audience?
Yeah, versus what the rest of them were.
Oh, probably 85%.
Well, now you got to remember it's all college football, but it was 70. 70% was a lot of all college football, was SEC or Big Ten. So that's obviously a bargaining chip there. I got to tell you, I always turn on the TV on the first day and think, well, okay, it's SEC hype day. But the fact is that there are some interesting little factoids that pop up. There's some the kids that you meet and you hear them. I mean, you see them, they're so impressive. These young men are so impressive, and they talk. Some really brilliant kids. So I watched today. Did you watch any of it at all?
I didn't see anything. I have not heard, read, or saw anything from SEC Media Days. I was gone all day, buddy.
Yeah, you're working, man.
I was busy, so
yeah,
haven't seen anything.
Well, I watched most of it. We'll have Rob Browne later, but Sankey said their view was different than the Big Ten. He says they have a different view. They want automatic bids. They want to be divided between the SEC and the Big Ten, et cetera, et cetera. They just threw in a formula. And then he later said, look, if we don't have but 12 teams this year, we're fine with that. Welcome to the Super Conference. We have one. So interesting stuff there. Let's see what else I can think. I think that's a highlight of it, and Rob will have more later. So anyway, so here was kind of the big news dropped in a bomb later in the day. And it was one of those things one of those rumors. And it comes from a guy who's not given to rumors. He doesn't usually say things that aren't somewhat substantiated. Greg McElroy said a person in the know, quote unquote, believes Nick Saban will return to coaching. And he said, if it wasn't someone notable, I would never say a word. And immediately he said, I would love to see that. He's sharp. He's got everything. He knows how to coach. He's still a huge force in the game, whether he would or not. But that's what they're saying now. I don't know. I kind of miss Saban. He's got a great gig with ESPN, and he's kind of calls his own shots. Seems to be having a good time. What are your thoughts on that?
It'd be interesting if he did decide to come back. How old is he?
Somebody help me out. Is it 70? Is that right?
I think he's older than 70, isn't he?
Well, while we're talking, we can Google it. But I believe.
Yeah, I still don't think he'll come back with the way college football is run now. Usually coaches, they get bored. He may be bored, but I don't see it happening.
Would you like to see it happen?
Oh, I think he's outstanding. I think the more intriguing question would be, where would he end up going?
Yeah, well, let's speculate on that. By the way, Saban's 73. Where would you? There's lots of people that are paying $15 million in a heartbeat or more to coach there. That's the school that's got. I mean, like we've seen it before with Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher. They thought they could do it. I don't know if it's that simple. I don't think Saban's a plug-and-play guy. I think he needs time to build up his system, and he's going to have to deal with 17 and 18-year-old kids. And so you can't go in there and expect him to do it in 1 year. So he's 73. When he's 78, is he going to want to do that? I don't know. But it sure is intriguing because I think he does add a lot to the game, and they miss him in the game.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I don't see it happening.
I doubt it either. But McElroy's not a guy that just throws things out there, you know. All right, so nice story from Graham Hall on Brandon Spikes. He returned to Florida in 2023, assistant coach. Now he's got a new gig. He's been named the Florida Gators Assistant of Player Development for 2025 while earning his MBA at the University of Florida. That's a nice thing, and that's good for Florida. It's good for Brandon.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Came back, finished his degree, and now obviously grad school, and does a lot with those kids in the program.
Do you know him, Shane?
I just see him on the road trips. That's the only time I ever seen him.
Do you talk at all?
I mean, briefly, if we're sitting next to each other, across each other on the bus or something like that. But that's about it.
I know you don't get all excited until the season starts, and you don't really care about recruiting that much and whatever. But there is something about SEC Media Days, the light bulb going on. And I didn't know how I'd feel about it today. And I thought, here we go, the usual stuff from Sankey and whatever. But by the end of the day, I thought, I'm getting a little bit jacked up about this season. And I was talking to a couple of guys today, one of them's a former coach, about how many teams are there who could win the championship in the SEC, winning the national championship. It's not easy to pare the list down. How many are there? And is it better to have one or two super teams like Georgia and Alabama, or is it better to have 6 or 7 teams with a chance? What's your opinion?
I think you got several teams in the league that have a chance because of the way the format is now.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think Texas and Georgia are the two elite teams in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're head and shoulders above everybody else.
Then who?
Then you got Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think
Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss, and I think you could throw Florida A&M and
not Florida A&M, but Florida and A&M.
Yeah, Florida and A&M and
South Carolina.
I mean, I know a lot of people are high on them. I'm not.
I'm with you on that. I just
that doesn't mean they can't be thrown into.
No, but I just can't pull the trigger on South Carolina.
I think there's. Most of these publications, and Phil Steele has like South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee. I think he's got them all like 7th and 8th in the conference, kind of tied.
Right.
And that's probably right.
Yeah.
For now, we'll see. You got to go play the games.
Which is better? Lots of teams who could get in, or 2 or 3 super teams, or.
Well, I mean. If they go to when they expand, they go to the 5-11 format, which I'm in favor of, you could easily get 4 or 5 teams in from each conference if they're worthy. I mean, talent-wise, I think Texas is the best in America, probably.
Yeah. By the way, Byron Buxton is up to 19 home runs with 3 outs left. The top 4 will go. I guess got his 20th just there. He did. So he's on a little bit of a heater right there. He's got 3 outs left and got 20 home runs. So, all right. So tomorrow is Texas Day. You know what we're going to see in here. I don't resent anything that Arch Manning gets. I think he's a superb young man. He's a talented athlete. He seems to have everything he needs to be a really terrific, maybe a great player in baseball. And if you, what would you think if you were projecting him? Is he a Heisman MVP kind of guy, could go in the league and lead his team to the Super Bowl and be like his uncle? What's your, based on what you know now? And I know we don't know much yet. We know he can run well.
Well, I know this because I know the Mannings.
Yeah.
He throws the ball better than both his uncles. He's more athletic than both of his uncles.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's playing in a better system than his uncles played in high school and college. I think he's really good. I can't figure out why so many people are doubting it. He's a really good high school player, and he's in a great system with probably the best play caller in America.
Don't you think some of it might be jealousy?
It could be, but I mean, he's good, man. I mean, he hasn't played a lot, but the times that I've seen him play, I thought he was pretty good.
We just hadn't much of a sample size there. And there's been some new lists that came out ranking the quarterbacks, and several of them rank DJ as the top quarterback in the league.
And he has a chance to be.
Yeah, but they were saying right now going in, the best quarterbacks are, and the ones that don't name Manning, name DJ, and then they have LSU.
I think the best quarterbacks going into the season.
No, Nussmeier, I think is.
Are Garrett Nussmeier, Arch Manning, DJ, and John Mateer from Oklahoma.
Yeah, what about the kid from everybody raves about from Texas A&M?
Marcel Reed?
No, it's not him I'm thinking of. It's the other kid. It's
from Lenore Sellers from South Carolina.
No, Sellers I know about.
Yeah, he does nothing for me.
He gets what do you have against Lenore Sellers?
I don't have anything against him. He reminds me of Anthony Richardson. They're the same player.
Okay.
They're going to give you a lot of splash plays, but inconsistent plays.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked a lot about what's ahead for Florida. The things that are obviously they are left are the health question for DJ. And I've quoted you a lot on this. And some people don't like Billy's play calling. And I've said what you said, you told me over the past year, that even if Steve Spurrier were calling the plays, there'd be people finding something wrong with him.
It's a true statement.
And you said that you have no problem with his play calling, right? And that, and I thought about it some. I thought, well, here's the deal. He's got a system. He's meticulously installed that system. And part of that is the running game, how he uses his running backs, using them and play action is his game. Well, I learned a long time ago, if you don't run the ball, you can't have play action. So obviously that's one of the things he does is getting the running game. Now with the running game they got, the play action should be good. Do you think Lagway would be able to run that offense as a threat to run when he had to?
Yeah, but I've said it multiple times. I don't think everybody thinks because DJ is a dual threat or however they want to. He's a much better thrower than he is a runner. I don't think you'll see a lot of design runs. You'll see him scramble, which is different.
RPOs,
maybe a few RPOs, but RPOs are either he's handing it off to a running back or he's throwing.
Right.
He's not running the ball. That's his own read. I don't think you're going to see a lot of that.
Well, it's called our run pass option, so there's got to be
right. The run is for the running back,
right?
And the pass is for the quarterback to throw it,
right?
That's what the run pass option is,
right? Yeah. So you got no problem with his play calling?
No. So here's the thing: can we all, once the play is over, go, man? I wish he would have done this or done that. Yes, that's with Andy Reid. That is with Steve Spurrier. That is with Steve Sarkisian. That is with Lane Kiffin. Because, of course, everybody thinks they know what should work. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problems with his play calling. I mean, because I realize, because I've been a play caller myself, and not every play works.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times when Urban was coaching, buddy, did we run inside zone for a 1 yard gain or a no yard gain?
Yeah.
Meaning in the A gaps or the B gaps, and people bitching and complaining.
Yeah.
Because there's a rhyme or reason why you call plays. Sometimes they just don't work.
Yeah. Well, I understand, but there's a concept here which I think you need to explain to us. I think I understand it. I learned from watching Coach Spurrier and others that you run plays to set up other plays.
Well, you do that too, yeah.
And so sometimes those plays only get you 2 yards.
Correct.
But the next time you give them a different look and it goes to 30, right?
Or you just call it again and it's
Right.
a different look that the defense is giving you, and it busts wide open. That's what I'm saying. Not every play is ever going to work.
Yeah.
And you expect them to work, but a lot of stuff has to happen. Everybody has to be on the same page, has to execute it, has to be against the right defense, and you got to go make a play. Sometimes the defense wins. You know, they give scholarships to those dudes over there too, and they pay them. I should take that back. The hell with the scholarships now. They pay those guys on the other side millions of dollars.
Well, yeah. I mean, let me ask you the big question, though, and we'll bring Kevin in here after we do our spot. Is this a good offense? Because when you saw Spurrier's offense on TV before you ever came there, you said, I can run this. There's something you saw in that offense that you liked. When you look at Florida's current offense, Billy's offense, what do you say? And do you think you could run that offense?
I don't think it'd be a great offense for me, no, because his is predicated mostly on a dual threat guy. So I was saying, like, if I was coming out of high school right now, I would probably lean Texas because they're the most
pure drop back.
Similar offense to Steve Spurrier's, vertical down the field. He's a tremendous schemer. What they do there, I think Billy does a really good job with what he has. You know, they want to run the football. You're going to get extra guy in the box. You play action, and that's when DJ hits the deep ball. I mean, it's one-on-one coverage. It is. I've said it 100 times. There is nothing easier than football than throwing the ball deep.
Yeah, it's your favorite play. It's a safe play.
Because there's no reading for the most part. Usually, you get your protection, you take your steps, and you let it go, and you trust your guy to make a play.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so let's bring our friend in here, and we'll talk to him while we also get a chance to tell folks about Meldon Law. I can tell you this much, that Jeffrey's enjoying his time off. He's traveling in Europe and Asia, and he's going to a whole bunch of countries. Well deserved. We wish him the best. I know he'll have a great time. He and Patricia and all their adventures over there. And he's still a happy guy after his Gator basketball team won the Natty. He's still celebrating that. and he'll be celebrating for a while, as a matter of fact. Jeffrey is a good dude. He's an excellent lawyer. He's a tremendous Gator. He does a lot of things for a lot of people. And he's my friend. I'm happy to say I appreciate all he does for this show, but I appreciate what he does for the university and for Gainesville. So if you need a lawyer, and every now and then when I have Jeffrey on, I have to remind him he is in the law business because he gets so caught up in stuff. I would recommend him. I've got him. I'm one of his clients. He has 4 locations to serve you: Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, and Williston. Meldon Law, they want back down. Kevin, are people still buzzed about the basketball?
Oh, yeah. Well, Summer League started, and they've all looked really good. I just wrote something up on that now. I mean, Clayton had 21 in his debut. Elijah Martin, 16, a big thunderous dunk. They got a guard today, right, from Sacramento State, who I think is more of a developmental guy, Kovlichev, who is going to be, their final scholarship spot. And I think that buddy. You know, I mean, you see a lot of projections right now. Top 5. John Rothstein, you know, was talking today about them potentially repeating. And certainly it's going to be a bear of a non-conference schedule, but it sets up pretty well for him.
Let's talk about the Gator offensive football. Shane and I have been having a conversation. When you're out traveling about, and by the way, don't I owe you a congratulations? Huh?
Oh, yeah. No, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I've
kind
been
of a
getting
big
a lot.
event in your life, right?
I've been getting a lot. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have posted it on Twitter and let the cat out of the bag.
Well,
but,
could you tell us?
It was a special.
About your
It was
marriage,
a special
your
night.
bride,
What?
whatever, please.
Oh yeah. No, I got engaged second time. Hopefully, it'll go better than the first. But
well, congratulations! I didn't know that.
Yeah. I popped the question on July 3rd, right before we left for vacation in the Northeast to visit some family and friends up there. Went up to D.C., Baltimore, New York. Watched my Mets lose in Camden Yards, which was not good. But other than that, it was a great trip, and it was certainly celebratory, all things considered. Obviously.
Let me give you a little tip, Kevin. I want to help you out as a man who's been married over 60 years, okay? Let me tell you, you don't talk about the baseball games you saw on your honeymoon. That's not a good story to start.
We didn't say we went on a honeymoon.
Well, it's not a honeymoon. I'm just engaged at this point.
Well, but
I'm
you
not,
took your wife on a trip, or your wife to be.
I would not take her on a baseball game on a honeymoon trip.
Okay, where would you take her?
I mean, I don't know, maybe like
San Francisco,
maybe Virgin Islands. We'll see.
No basketball games, Shane.
Yeah, I'll take her to the Chase Center. In when the Gators are actually, I think they're in San Jose. If they're out west.
Yeah. I have watched some of the summer league, Shane. I don't know if you have or not, and some pretty impressive play by the Florida guys, Kevin.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, I think it really shows that they were all pro ready and perhaps a little undervalued in some ways. I mean, Tom Crean, I talked to him quite a bit. He's got some Indiana roots, and a mutual friend of mine connected me with him, and he's been a really good resource. And he told me last March or last April that he thought Will Richard would play in the NBA for 10 years. I mean, just loved him. Just loved his demeanor, and what, him being kind of this 3-and-D guy. I think the Warriors got a steal there. I think he's going to be a good pro, a solid pro, like not, a superstar, but a guy that will be a strong rotational guy. I mean, you take a look at a guy like, I was telling this story the other day about, Scotty Wilbekin, who I always thought was going to make it, and he had a really good preseason with the Philadelphia 76ers. And the guy that beat him out for that last roster spot was TJ McConnell. And look at how long he's lasted. And what he's done for the Indiana Pacers. So sometimes it's about opportunity and fit, but I think this is a really good fit for Will Richard in Golden State. Yeah. And Elijah looked great. And, Walter, they've got a lot invested in him. And, I think he's going to be a scorer right away in the NBA, it looks like.
Been fun to watch. Changing subjects again, getting back to, by the way, I know you don't watch the Home Run Derby. I just happened to be watching tonight. And Caminero, my favorite Ray, is tied for the lead.
How about that? No Pete Alonso this year, by the way.
I know. So anyway, Cruz and Caminero are tied at 21. Buxton has 20. Rooker has 17. I think that's your leading four. And then they're going to go. They finish up here. They're going to go. Cal Raleigh's batting now. Do you guys remember the days? You probably don't. When they used to wear their regular uniforms to All-Star games.
Yes, I would like for them to go back to that.
I love that. Shane, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I just love seeing it. I went to a couple of All-Star games. Some fantastic ones, by the way. And I remember I had no idea it was going to be a story. But seeing those guys in their regular unis was a treat, man.
I think it's just it's a money grab by the league.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Screw the fans.
Well, I'll be up in Atlanta tomorrow for SEC Media Days. So, I will be there, and it will be a little further north, but to have SEC Media Days and the All-Star game going on. I think this is the second year in a row this has happened because it was in Texas last year.
Yeah. And the Beyonce concert tonight, too, otherwise. I think it's tonight or tomorrow night. So we'll check with you later. We're going to have Rob Browne there. Tomorrow's Texas Day. And where Shane and I are talking about, can Arch Manning be as good as they all say he is? And what do we expect him to do? And I'm sure tomorrow will be crazy up there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Texas Day.
I want to ask him about the Spurrier quip just to see if he heard it and what he thought, because I think that's interesting about, Bill Quinn Ewers stuff. I think that'd be an interesting little story to see his reaction or what he thought about it, or if he, I'm sure that what Arch maybe has some connection with Spurrier back in the day, or what he thought. But yeah, no, I think that's, listen, legitimate question, which is why, in all my preseason all SEC media days, I voted for Lenore Sellers as first team, because to me, Arch is still a little unproven. You still don't know. Whereas Lenore Sellers went to a full year and was productive. So to me, he's the best quarterback in the SEC going into it. Now, Shane might disagree, but I really like him.
He didn't make our top 4, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, look at the numbers and look at what he did as a redshirt freshman last year for a South Carolina team, and he beat Clemson. I mean,
know
for a South Carolina team that's not really, doesn't have a lot of talent around him. He was.
So you put him ahead of Arch, you put him ahead of DJ, you put him ahead of everybody.
Nussmeier, I think Nussmeier is a little overrated, to be honest with you. I mean, he's not a dual threat, right? And he doesn't, yeah.
Did you hear his coach today talk about how much better he was? He'll make a quantum leap. If he makes a quantum leap, he got sacked. He said that they would invest in offensive lineman at the LSU, according to what they said.
Yeah.
And now, if Nussmeier gets an offensive line, I don't know. Shane, did you watch him much last year? If you critique Nussmeier's year, what would you say about it?
I think he's outstanding. I think he's a pro quarterback. I think he'd be a first-round draft pick. I don't really look at one game here or there. I hear what Kevin's saying about Sellers. Sellers to me is so up and down, and I compare him. He reminds me of Anthony Richardson. I don't even know what his numbers are, but South Carolina did have a good year. But I still think DJ, Nussmeier, Arch and John Mateer are the best. That's the top 4.
I'm sure yet. I'll take your word on him. I haven't seen him.
He's freaking good, man.
How about the other kid from Denver? What's his name? Everybody talks about. He got a lot of run today. The left-handed kid.
Austin Simmons and Ole Miss.
Austin Simmons. They're
he'll have a good year because he's in a system where he'll have a good year.
Yeah.
You remember Florida recruited him out of
Pokey,
and they were trying to get him to play.
He's already graduated from Ole Miss.
He got 2.
Yeah, no, he's a brilliant kid, and he's also a really good pitcher too. And I don't know if he's playing both sports at Ole Miss, but he was projected as a top 10, round talent in terms of his arm coming out of Pahokee. But he's going to be another one. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talented, but I just go with, the more proven to me. I mean, and I guess you could say the same thing about Nussmeier, but I wasn't quite as impressed watching Nussmeier in person, in the game in the Swamp. But the Swamp does do that to a lot of quarterbacks. So certainly did it to Jackson Dart a little bit, although I thought Jackson Dart was the best QB in the SEC last year. And obviously that was proven by the fact that he went to the Giants in the first round of the draft.
Good evening, friends. Top 4 quarterbacks in the SEC.
Well, everybody's talking about Arch Manning as the number 1 quarterback, even though somebody pointed out today that you look at his stats and they're all against teams with number 90 or below defenses in games that he actually got to play a lot. Then they got Garrett Nussmeier, who, he's a talented kid, but he throws a lot of picks as he did last year. I think he threw 14 or 15 picks last year. And as Florida showed, put him under pressure and he makes bad decisions too. Yeah. I would say right now, I would go with the top 4 and not in a particular order. Lenora Sellers would be there. I would put DJ Lagway at the very worst, the number 3
Andy
quarterback.
Staples had him number 1.
I would have him at the very worst, the number 3, but you could debate that he's one or 2. I don't think there's any question about that. I'll tell you a kid that I really love and I think he's being undersold. And that's Marcel Reed at Texas A&M.
Yeah, could be. All right, let's don't go too deep. I have to let these guys go. You and I got to get Rob on. And by the way, Cal Raleigh has 17 home runs. We're getting it. He's now out at 17. So looks like Caminero is going to make the Final Four. All right, Shane, hang on one second. And well, tell who you got on the show tomorrow, Shane.
I got you, buddy. How about that?
That's not much. That's not much. I think you better to get these guys on, but no,
they're busy. They're probably going to Atlanta.
I know they're busy guys. Yeah. So be sure and check out this Pot Up with Matthews, one of the outstanding shows. We on every morning at 8 a.m. For me, it's the middle of the night, but that's okay for right now because Shane's in the middle of the night right now on the other end. So Shane, I'll see you in the morning. All right. If you have any final thoughts to share, give them to us now.
No, I'm the Gators are in Atlanta on Wednesday?
Yes.
I'll try to watch the SEC show.
Yeah, that'd be good to do that. Yeah, they're going to be on.
I didn't see a dang thing today.
Yeah. Well, we'll cover for you. We're there.
All right.
So, all right. So talk to you, Shane. Thank you.
All right.
And Kevin, before you go, just a quickie, you do basketball, guys. I know you're kind of excited about what you're seeing. Are the Florida guys just better than we thought? Are they better prepared for this? Are they going to be better pros? Talk to me, Kevin, about your opinion about why they're having a really good summer camp.
Well, no, I think it's like you said. I think, and the age and the experience, I think certainly helps. There is this kind of feeling that. You got to get to the NBA young because of upside and so forth and everything. But there's something to be said for sticking around in college, too. And I mean, Walter Clayton's a 4-year guy. Elijah Martin's a 5-year gull Will Richard's a 4-year guy. So they come in with a level of maturity, I think. And I think that helps them, too. And, all three of those players have winning intangibles. And, Walter Clayton Jr. was schooled by Rick Pitino before he was schooled by Todd Golden. Will Richard, just a consummate, pro that's going to do whatever's asked of him.
Are you surprised? You guys surprised by how well Richard's doing? Franz, I know they love him in Golden State. You have a lot to say about him too. You guys surprised at how much he's being praised?
Not at all, because he rebounds bigger than his size. I mean, he's got a 6'11" wingspan. And even though he's just like 6'4.5", 6'5", he's got a 6'11" wingspan, so he rebounds very well. And I got to tell you what, if all you got to do is watch the last 4 minutes of the Auburn and Houston games, and you'll see the guy is like he is what Todd said all year long. He is an elite defensive player, and he's a streaky enough shooter that he's going to have some nights when he goes into a coma and can't miss. But in the meantime, he'll give you the rebounds, he'll give you the steals, and he doesn't turn the ball over. So he's got a place to play in the NBA. Yeah. And Elijah Martin, I
was going to get to Elijah Martin. That guy's having a monster camp right now. Yeah.
That dunk he had in his first game, I think that was the first time he scored in the NBA, and it was an absolute monster of a dunk. And we've seen him do that, but he's another one. They signed him to a 2-year contract, and people thought that was a little curious considering he's a second rounder. But they have a lot of guys to clear out in the backcourt, so. It's probably going to be a good place for him to play. They're far more concerned about what goes on up front, where Colin Castleton is having a good summer league and is probably going to start. He's probably going to be with the big club up in Toronto. He's probably going to be up there with the Ruptures. So he's going to be. He's another Gator that's had a really good summer. I'll tell you a guy that just shocked me. I don't know if he shocked Kevin or not, but Flanders Fleming Jr. It's easy for that. I know I can't. I've never been able to say that well, but Zion got pulled up to Memphis last year. Spent the last half of the season there. He's going to stick with the club as their backup point guard. But here's the guy that is making a case that he could stay, and that's Flanders Fleming, having a tremendous
Right.
summer league. So the Gators are doing very, very well, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Let me say goodnight to Kevin. A final comment, Kevin. We'll bring Rob on.
No, I was going to mention too about the Martin dunk and just the athleticism too, and how that's translating, and that's certainly going to be something that's going to carry him a long way. It's just his hops and just his overall ability. And but wait, buddy. Hey, I appreciate you and appreciate the well wishes, and I will be up in Atlanta the next couple of days, so be sure to check out my stuff on Gainesville.com.
Hey, congrats, Kev. She said yes.
I know we discussed that earlier. I appreciate that, friends.
I didn't get a chance to tell you, but I don't know anybody more deserving of having a good, happy life than you.
Well, she spent 13 straight days with me and didn't strangle me. So,
oh my God,
I think it worked out pretty well. So.
She didn't bop you. She didn't pick up a Coke bottle and try to beat you over the head with it.
All right, enough marriage counseling here tonight. All right, thank you. All right, here's Rob. What's up, Rob?
Well, just here in Atlanta, where it is talking season at the zenith of the talking season. But I mean, a lot of takeaways, a lot of good storylines coming out of here.
Rob and I did a show early this afternoon. He did one. I did his show this morning, and then later we did one this afternoon. And you've had a chance to be there and see what's going on. Say good evening to Franz. And what's the biggest takeaway of the day, Rob?
I mean, the biggest takeaway of the day, I think, is the confidence of Vanderbilt football from head coach Clark Lee, Diego Pavia, talking about winning a national championship. And, and you mentioned earlier, they really don't have enough horses in the stable to do it. But the fact that they believe they can says a lot about how fragile Vanderbilt was when Clark Lee took over and how different their mindset is now. Also, really impressed with what Lane Kiffin said about how comfortable he is in Oxford. He has got his brother there, his two kids, Knox, his son, Landry, his daughter's a junior at Ole Miss. And what he's been through, he lost his mom and his dad in the last year, and how much the Oxford community, and I know it well, I go to Oxford a lot, and they just really rallied around him. And I think he's very, very happy in what he's doing. Shane Beamer, man, he is a lot different than he was last year, and he's got a lot more guys to replace, but he does have Lenora Sellers coming back. By the way, and then Brian Kelly, he loves his roster. He loves Nussmeier. He loves everything about this team, but they've got to break 5 straight opening season losses, and they are walking the Green Mile up there to play Clemson. They've got to escape out of there. 1-point win, it doesn't matter what it is, start their season off with momentum.
Well, they're going to have to do something because they're going to settle for that at LSU, and Brian Kelly is getting paid a lot of money. And now that won't decide probably their championship hopes, but losing to Clemson would not be a good way to start out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And friends, your thoughts about Kelly? And I know I've heard you said before, you disparaged him for his inability to protect his quarterback. He did go out and get a whole bunch of people in the portal, and they're loaded with offensive linemen. They said today they have the strongest offensive line, Rob, that he's ever had since he's been there.
Well, he said he had the best offensive line in the country last year.
But he got a bunch more people this year.
4 guys got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break. And they couldn't run block. They haven't been able to run block. The only way they had any kind of running game this first 2 years there was because Jaden Daniels got into his feet don't fail me now mode, and he's difficult to contain. And that's the only reason they've had any running game. They had no running game last year. They're not going to have it this year. He even said so today. He said, well, Nussmeier even said it. Well, I don't know if we're going to have a running game. Okay, you're not going to win in the SEC without one.
Well, Franz, last year, buddy, he's right. Pro Football Focus, didn't they say the 2 tackles for LSU were elite? And Florida just tore them up and sacked Nussmeier 8 times in that November beatdown in the swamp. Look, we can all go to Fresh Market and spend $5,000 and get the best free-range chicken, aged Angus beef, and halibut. But if we leave it in the trunk all week and don't develop it, it goes bad. I don't think they're doing a good job of developing. I'm not sold on LSU being this elite team like a lot of people are, simply because Brian Kelly's the head coach. And that's why I say that.
Well, Kelly's saying he's got this guy in charge of academics. This guy's the general manager. I've never had that. I love him. I get along great with him. I went to the portal. We're very happy who we got now. We know we got to win an opening game. He's saying all the right things. What your guys are saying to me, he's not that good a coach. Is that what you're telling me?
He's got everything in the world going for him, Franz. And
he had it all going for him at Notre Dame, Rob.
That's my point. Yeah.
You know, you look at the guy who replaced him at Notre Dame, who, my gosh, comes in with no experience as a head coach whatsoever. And he is already just killed it, and is continuing to.
Yeah.
Making far less money than they paid Brian Kelly up there.
Right.
And, Notre Dame should never, being the way they can pick and choose their schedule, they should never win fewer than 9 games ever. That should be you should walk into the year knowing that you're 9-0 to start with, and you got 3 games that are going to decide whether you make the playoff or not.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We did this morning. We'll do it to keep doing it. I think we decided somewhere that there were 8 teams out of the SEC who could be considered as potential candidates for the championship. A few reaches. Can you guys name 8? Let's see if we get the same 8. I picked mine this morning. Rob, did we do that this morning?
I didn't do that with you. Yeah,
okay.
I'd already left.
I guess Alice Johnson I was doing it anyway. So let's just throw out Georgia and Texas. We know there. So there's 6 more teams that we've got to say they are going to be competing for a championship, a national championship. They could be. All right, Rob, you would think you can name 6?
Georgia, Texas, Alabama.
I already got Georgia, Texas names.
And I've got Alabama, and I think Florida can. LSU will have 2 or 3 losses. That's par for the course with Kelly. South Carolina, I don't think they've got so much to replace on defense. No. Looking around the league.
Ole Miss, probably.
No. I don't think so.
Texas A&M?
Marcel Reed is, that's our intern's quarterback, Oakley. His quarterback at NBA was Marcel. What Franz alluded to it a second ago. People forget that A&M led the SEC in offense scoring in conference games last year at 29.4. I think A&M this year quietly might do it. So I'll put them in that category.
It's only 5.
Yeah. I don't have 8. I just don't. I don't see it.
So you're not throwing Tennessee's got no shot.
No, forget that.
And you're saying no to South Carolina.
Notice I'm saying that about Tennessee is I'm not sleeping with my wife tonight because I'm in Atlanta. She's evolved for life.
Okay.
But
right.
I don't see it. Roman Harper's broken down a lot of tape on Joey Aguilar. He's 6'3", 225 out of Concordia, California, which is where I think Uiagalelei, who played at Clemson and Oregon State and Florida State's from. I don't see it with Tennessee. I see a 7 or 8 win team this year.
All right, Franz, straighten it out for us. Is there 6? Yeah. We had 8 this morning when we started out.
I can tell you 5, and they're the same 5 Rob had, and that's Georgia, Texas, Florida, Alabama and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Those 5. Now, on the fringe, Ole Miss, and I say that because he is the one guy, Lane Kiffin is the one guy who can take homeless shelters, the homeless shelter all-stars, and the best player from 2 convents, bring them in there and they suddenly can play football. He's figured out stuff in the transfer portal that nobody else has. And he's a question mark, though. We don't know if Lane can get him to play together. He's done it in the past 3 years. Can he do it in a 4th? I don't know that. That's going to be the prevailing question every year with Lane. Oklahoma is my other sleeper, and here's
that's
why.
one I haven't heard. Oklahoma. From
They
anybody.
have what probably to me is the 3rd best quarterback in the league in John Mateer.
Yeah.
He is an absolute stud. I'm going to go on a limb, and Rob's going to faint here because I'm going to say this. I'm going to put Auburn on my fringe group. I think I've got Auburn pegged to go 8-4. And here's why I got them 8-4. 8-4 because we don't know if Jackson Arnold can hit a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle from 2 feet away. He is not exactly Mr. Accuracy when it comes to throwing the football. Now, Hugh has got a history of taking quarterbacks who can't throw a lick and making them into good quarterbacks. Bo Wallace, for example. Bo Wallace came out of junior college and he couldn't, he couldn't throw anything. And yet he came to Ole Miss and he beat Alabama like 2 years in a row. He's got a history of taking bad quarterbacks and making them good. If he can take Jackson Arnold and turn Jackson Arnold into a good quarterback, Auburn is going to be formidable. 9-3 in this league is going to make the playoff. 8-4, I think they're an 8-4 team. But the difference between 8-4 and 9-3 is you get a break in one game, and you win one you're not supposed to win. And so I put Auburn in my sleeper group along with Ole Miss and Oklahoma. But I got 5 solid teams.
Yeah, and I will say this about John Mateer. Ben Arbuckle, his offensive coordinator, the last 3 years at Washington State, came with him. And my friend Jim Nagy is now the general manager of Oklahoma. They are putting together, they've got a hell of a defensive line this year. And I talked to a guy today with the OU insider who's very close to Jackson Arnold. We may be getting Jackson on the show. We're going to try to. But Jackson Arnold was in a no-win situation last year. I think he does have a lot of upside, but he's got to be rewired. And Freeze has shown in 2 years at Auburn to be a miserable failure at developing a quarterback. With Peyton Thorne, if a dog will bite, he'll do it when he's a pup. But you brought him back for a second year. The first one, shame on him. The second one, shame on you for doing that. So Freeze has got to prove that he can develop a quarterback and maybe let Ken Austin actually coach. And Freeze needs to get out of his own way and quit calling caveman schemes. That's what's been hurting Auburn.
Meanwhile, in the home run contest, it's down to 2. Byron Buxton and Junior Caminero from the Rays. They're the 2 semifinalists. Buxton's hitting. He's only got 4 home runs with 20 seconds to go. We could be looking at a new home run derby champion.
Boy, those
Junior
guys just send my excitement level through the roof. Don't
well,
they?
I'll tell you what, I like Junior Caminero if you haven't watched him play.
He's good.
He's a heck of
By
a
the
player.
way, you mentioned the Rays.
Rookie.
A rookie?
Yes.
Let me interject something.
We only got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
The Rays have been sold, and it's going to be
$1.7 billion.
For $1.7 billion. They don't have a stadium.
Right.
Orlando wants them.
Yeah, I know, but they're not going there. They're going to Tampa St. Pete. The guys already said.
He said so, but they don't have a stadium or a plan.
Well,
they got a plan. They
I'm
have
gonna
a
do
plan
it.
in Orlando.
I know,
And,
but no,
and
okay.
I would be willing to bet you that Orlando comes into play here before you know it.
I'll bet you not, because this guy is a developer from Jacksonville. If he can get that deal in St. Pete, where he can be developing in St. Pete, that's a great big moneymaker for him. So anyway, Byron Buxton's got 6 home runs with 3 outs left. It looks like Junior Caminero, an unbelievable player, by the way. If you haven't seen him play, I follow the Rays every night, and he's amazing. Just turned 22. He's developed a really good third baseman. He really makes great, and he hits for power. He has 22 home runs. He hasn't played the whole season. So I'm rooting for my man, Junior Caminero. All right, guys. Final thoughts. I got to go do this spot and watch Junior. Give me a 30-second final thought, Franz.
30-second final thought is it is what I used to call the lying season, because everybody comes to SEC media days and they spout a bunch of lies, even when they know that their team is going to suck. But it's fun, and it means that we're 2 weeks away from practice beginning, and we're 6 weeks away from when nobody can hide anymore. And I like that.
Rob, you have a good day tomorrow. What you going to ask? What questions you're going to ask Benny?
Basically, what Coach Cutcliffe, I talked to David Cutcliffe today. You're working on, number one, being a great teammate, just like your Uncle Peyton and your Uncle Eli, how important that is. And also, the expectations are what they are. You just got to play within yourself and do what you do. And say, how hard is it carrying that Manning legacy, or do you embrace it? Yes or no? That's the question.
Good stuff. Have a good day tomorrow. Enjoy the times up in Atlanta. Enjoy the Beyonce concert. I'm sure you'll be going there.
Everybody has a cowboy hat in Atlanta right now. Everybody. I've never seen anything like it. We need to be selling cowboy hats.
Yeah, well, you got a guy that sells them, so you get him over there.
I got a Stetson I can wear.
Yeah,
Want me to FedEx it up there so you don't feel out of place?
Downtown Atlanta, the Omni, State Farm Arena, she's here for like a week. It's unbelievable. It's phenomenal.
Do you have tickets?
My mom won't let me go.
I didn't think so. You could give them to me and I wouldn't go.
Okay. She's talented, though.
Oh, I would go see her.
She's talented.
Just live event, of course. She likes.
Just past my bedtime. I got to be up early in the morning.
Yeah.
I saw the Beatles September 11th, 1964. It's all concerts have been downhill ever since.
All right, guys, I got to go. Have a good night. Thank you. Great job on both of you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I want to tell you folks about my good friends and sponsors at Titan MRI while we're going to watch the Junior Caminero step to the plate. He needs what? Only 8 home runs to be the home run champion. He was 1,000-to-1 odds. I saw him. And one of the commentators, the woman there, was going to pick him. And they said, no, don't pick him. He's rookie. He didn't hit the trajectory right and the angles right and his bat spin, all these things. They talked her out of it. She'd have been sitting pretty right now. So he's got 2 home runs already. He just started. And he's got 1:35 to go. He's got 3 home runs. Looks like 4 home runs. He's going to have it here before we go to break, I hope. So he only got to hit 3 more to tie. He's got 5. Here he comes. He's got 5. He's got 6. He's got 6. He's got 6. He's got 7. He's tied it now. This will be for the win. Next one, he's got a minute to go. Wow. What a moment for this guy. This young 22-year-old, he's taking a timeout with 8. He's already ahead. He's a winner. He's going to be the home run champion. How about that? Congratulations to Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays. Let me just say thanks to Titan MRI and Imaging. They've expanding Titan MRI's service to North Central Florida. And, of course, Joe Colorio is back 6 years after leaving Highfield MRI. leading provider of advanced MRI magnetic resonance imaging. Founded in 1997, again, its Titan MRI team acquired Highfield. And this move will strengthen Titan MRI's position in the medical imaging industry and enhances its ability to deliver innovative, high-quality MRI solutions to healthcare providers and patients across North Central Florida. The acquisition brings together industry leaders in the area with complementary expertise, resources, and technology capabilities. The integrated organization will have 3 locations: the Millennium Center practice joining the existing Titan MRI on Park Avenue, and the location in Lake City, which provides a much-needed service to the area, including Valdosta, Georgia, and Southern Georgia. The expanded roster of doctors and practitioners accelerate the service you have come to expect from Titan MRI and imaging. Patients can expect occasional services with improved additional comfort and faster imaging times. They pride themselves in customer service. So check them out, Titan MRI and imaging. I'm Buddy Martin. Thanks to our guest tonight. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow night with Rob. Actually, Rob and Lauren will be on tomorrow night. So check us out there, and we'll say good night to you and the process. And let's see if I can find my, there it goes. Okay. All right, folks. Good night.